Hey everybody, it's me, Detro, your best friend. Back with another music review. I haven't done these in a little while, so I'm gonna start trying to do these a little more if better albums come out, because there hasn't been many albums that I should really be reviewing outside of the Nas album, which was great. That's my review. Nas album was great. But I'm here reviewing Detroit 2 by Big Sean that just came out. This is a sequel to Detroit, the mixtape from 2012, which was some of Big Sean's best work that we've seen, and he said he felt like it was an album. So now Detroit 2 is an album form. The last release from Big Sean wasn't really anything crazy. Who could forget the classic "You Do the Right Thing, You Know You Inspire Me" song.
You do the right thing, you know you inspire me.
The message was great. The song was not good. But regardless, the album itself was kind of mid. There wasn't really anything crazy about it. It was all right, middle of the road. This album is a big step up from what the last one was, for sure. Obviously, Big Sean's music has changed over time. He started off as saying "little bitch" every 5 seconds. He doesn't say "little bitch" that much anymore. Believe it or not, he really doesn't. This is a completely different tone. It's a very mature Big Sean rapping on the track. And he's got a lot of friends this time. A lot of friends, and almost all of them make the songs better, believe it or not. They really do up the songs. I'm not sure if there's a hit song on the album. I think the closest thing to a commercial single would probably be the Wolf song with Post Malone, but we'll get into that later. But just so you know, this isn't something where you're gonna find, bangers to. You're gonna find songs that you really enjoy that are deep album cuts. The album does kick off with a bang. Why Would I Stop is a typical Big Sean song where he gets on a track and he really is very braggadocious, and it's like, oh, classic Big Sean's back. Some people don't like it, so it's depends on who you talk to. Some people call it trash. Some people say they love it. So it really depends on your taste. But I enjoyed it. The second track is where it gets really good, Lucky Me, because this is a beautiful beat, a beautiful sample that comes in. And Big Sean's talking about how he had a heart disease at 19. And one doctor said that they had to put a pacemaker in his chest. And then he went to another doctor and they prescribed him with something, and then he came back and said, "Oh, we don't have to operate." It was a cool little story inside that track, and his flow is really good on that beat. It's a Drake-like beat. I don't mean to bring Drake into it, but if Drake made an album to what Big Sean just did, he would be doing very well. Big Sean's got to be considered in that top 3. He might make it a top 4, but again, Lucky Me. Very good track. That's probably one of the standouts, I would say. Lucky Me's beat switches halfway through and it turns into like a very high-paced type of flow from Big Sean, which is pretty dope. It was pretty dope. First time I heard it, I was real excited. So that's one of the best songs on here for sure. It's followed up by Deep Reverence, another great song on here. Nipsey starts it off real well, and then it's another instance of Big Sean sharing a lot. He's very open on these songs. He's not holding anything back. He's very willing to share all of his pain with the world right now. But Sean next to Nipsey was great. Nipsey didn't do very much on the song, of course, but he was great in the spot that he was on. Wolves with Post Malone. I like Post. I'm not a huge fan of the song, to be honest with you. I thought it was a little too poppy, a little too catchy. Well, not too catchy, but like I wasn't feeling the hook. But once it gets to rapping, Big Sean raps pretty all right. Post Malone gives a better performance on features than he normally would, but this song doesn't really do it for me. It's got mainstream written all over it, though. I will say that. So that's the song you'll hear. That's the song everybody will hear. I was raised by the wolves. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay for what it is. I don't love it. And then we get to a standout in the album, Body Language. I love this song. I wanted to cry in the car. Jhené Aiko is lovely in every sense. On the song and everything that she's on, she's great. Big Sean gives a it's a very hyper-sexualized song, but it's lovely. So on a hyper-sexualized song, Big Sean can be very X-rated, and then you have Jhené Aiko, who's even more X-rated, and then you just have Ty Dolla $ign's voice, which is in itself X-rated in a way. So this is a great song. It's a vibe song, but if you guys enjoy that, you definitely would enjoy this type of song. Just don't play it around your moms, please, because that's how you get in trouble. Throughout the album, there's a couple story interludes scattered around of people talking about their experiences in Detroit. And the best one to me, there's 3 of them. There's Dave Chappelle, It was a Dave Chappelle story, yes, it was great. Erica Badu, which I don't know, I wasn't really. She just does what Erica Badu does. And then Stevie Wonder, who was talking about how he was raised in Detroit and how he wasn't really blind because his mom let him see the world. Oh, how nice. But the Chappelle story is hilarious because he gets on there, he talks about how he had a show in Detroit. And then Danny Brown, who he didn't know at the time, gives him weed, or he thought it was weed. And then he went on stage. He ruined the whole show. He didn't do great, but the crowd was with him, and he bombed completely. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And then I was talking to this dude backstage, and he gave me a pep talk, and it turns out it's Big Sean's father. So it was a funny little thing. Dave Chappelle just has a way to reel you in with his stories. So that was funny. I enjoyed Dave Chappelle. You all should. If you don't enjoy Dave Chappelle, I'm not gonna say it. But you know what I want to say. And then track 10 is, in my opinion, one of the top 2 songs or top 3 songs on the entire album. Guard Your Heart, Anderson .Paak, Early Mac, and Wale. This song is pretty much centered around the response to police brutality in the country. Anderson .Paak gives a beautiful, like 40-second interlude in the beginning of the song, which he needed to be on the song more, just because I love Anderson .Paak. I love everything Anderson .Paak does. So if I hear him for 40 seconds, I want to hear him more. But he was almost, in my opinion, far and away the best thing on the song. His voice is lovely. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. If you want to listen to Anderson .Paak just be as beautiful as possible, this is the track you go to. Then Early Mac comes in, he does the hook. It's a pretty decent job. He does a pretty good job of that. Big Sean has an okay but sort of forgettable verse. Not really. He talks about kind of being conflicted, like being friends with Pusha and Drake. That's one line that was pretty interesting there. Wale comes on with one of the best verses I've heard from him in a really long time. He talks about the response to police brutality, and he talks about the response to the riots. People are upset about him looting, or not him in general, but people are upset about looting at the riots, but Black people are upset over the loss of one of their own, reasonably. So he spells it out that way and kind of makes it very clear for those who don't necessarily understand the message all that much. And he is really, really strong on this track. This is one of the most heartfelt, I think, verses that you would find on this album. So shout out Wale. But yeah, this track was great. It just needed more Anderson .Paak. But yeah, excellent track. Lithuania is the better of the Travis Scott Big Sean combos on this album. This song is dope. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's a very hyped up song. If you're looking for probably one of the more mainstream tracks on here, you'd go to this, because this is very much in Travis Scott's alleyway, and Travis Scott actually tries on this feature, which makes it so much better. Full Circle is a really strong track on here, featured by Key Wayne and Diddy. Diddy is on here. Big Sean's really just talking about his journey coming up to rapping, and how there was one line that was pretty good. It was "Stop rapping and stay in school," and then the beat stops. It was the dumbest shit I heard in my life, and it was pretty good. It was really slick. This is one of the better songs. The instrumental on here is really strong. It's very scattered, but it's very enjoyable. Then we have another 2088 compilation with Jhené Aiko, which this one was not better than track 5 in my opinion, but you know, it'll do. People that love 2088 will probably love it just because it's both of them together. I thought it was an okay song. It wasn't anything crazy, forgettable. Then we have the Erykah Badu story, which wasn't anything memorable either. The Baddest is easily, hands down, the very worst song that is on this album, far and away. It sounds like something that should be on Dark Sky Paradise, something that would fit in over there, but it would easily be the worst track on that album as well. It's just terrible, just dreadful song. Really the only dreadful song on this album, but this was bad. Dawn Life I was looking forward to with Lil Wayne, but that one didn't really hit the mark with me. Like I really look forward to Lil Wayne features to see if he tries or not, because sometimes when he tries he could really spit, and he did try, but I didn't feel this one. This one wasn't really hitting the same. So the execution wasn't great. And then there's the song everybody's talking about, Friday Night Cypher, which is gonna start a trend in rap. All rappers are going to try to do this. They're going to try to put 50 people on a song, and they're going to switch up the beat a little bit, and they're all going to do their things. I like the idea. I'm not mad at the idea. Big Sean did it first, just so you guys know. Well, not first, but first to start it off. You know what I'm saying? Some of the standouts on here, Cash Doll. I'm looking at it right now. Cash Doll. Payroll was great. Boldy James ushered in a different beat, and I got crazy for that because I was like, wow, Boldy's on here. Drago was great. Sean, when he stepped in, was great as well. Royce did well, and then Eminem ended the song on like a 2-minute soliloquy, and it was pretty good. You know, even people that don't like Eminem could admit that this was a pretty good track. But overall, Friday Night Cypher, I do like. I think there were certain parts on there that I wasn't really invested in. I'm not a huge T Grizzly fan, so that one didn't really strike me. Some people might love T Grizzlies. I don't know, but I like this trend. I hope this trend continues. Overall, everyone really brought it. The last track, Still I Rise, with Dom Kennedy, was great. Was great. The beat on that song is very uplifting and very finish line like music. Like if there's 10 seconds left in the NBA Finals and you know you're gonna win, they start playing that song and then you're like, oh yeah, we did it. Like it was a great song. It wasn't very long. There wasn't too much to it necessarily, but it's a lovely song. I very much enjoy it. And that was Detroit too. To be honest with you, I really liked most of the tracks on here. Some of them slipped. You the Baddest is easily the worst Big Sean song I've heard in a very long time. But let's not focus on the negatives. We had a lot of great songs here. The features really brought it, accentuated the album so much. Jhené Aiko was lovely. Anderson .Paak is lovely. Wale had a great verse. There was just so much going on here. This is just a very great album overall. Out of the songs that I thought were great and I enjoyed, it was 12 out of 21. So I really enjoyed 12 out of the 21 songs. That doesn't mean the other 9 were trash, but it just doesn't mean that I really, really enjoyed them. So honestly, if you can hit on half of your songs on an album, I got to give you credit. It was really good, and especially on a 21-song album. By the way, rappers, stop dropping 21-song albums. I don't like that. I like to hear, though, because all the songs were good. They need to be good. They need to be good. If I had to pick a top 3, up there would be Lucky Me, Reverence, Body Language. Even if you don't, it's not music, but you should listen to the Chappelle Story because he's just so gripping when he talks. So it would be those 3. Guard Your Heart is up there, Lithuania, Friday Night Cypher. So I guess between those 5 songs would really be the top 3. We'll make it a top 5. Those are the top 5, pretty much. And the worst song is The Baddest. I can't express with words how much I hate The Baddest. Yeah, Big Sean's album, Detroit, I really, really enjoyed. I think this is a really big step up in Big Sean's evolution. I think it does push him in that top A-list category with everybody else. He's great in this lane. In this lane, he's really, really great, and he's prolific. So I'm excited to see what's next from him already. If I had to rate it, I don't know. I don't want to be stingy with my ratings, but like, you know, there were almost half the album it wasn't great. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give Big Sean's album an 8. Detroit 2 is Detroit 8.